He say, she say, we say, I say, hearing out them points of views when I see it my way. Yes it goes, yes it knows, maybe so's, probably not, shoulds and coulds, do's and don'ts, your wills and won'ts is how you rock. Politicians and religions, on your house or are you renting? Is you married, is you single, meta interest when you mingle, turn out to be someone you into, so how long before the bed get wrinkled? Children when they tripping, is it time out or do you whip them? Opinions and decisions, hunches, intuitions, may or may not get it, cause people's experience different. Check the prejudice at the door. Speak the mind, you give the flow. Tell the truth if it's sweet or sour, cause the hour we spittin' that fire.
This is Spittin' Fire coming to you with another one. Okay, so I know it's been a few days, almost a week since I dropped number 3 and had to address somebody with anti-gay stuff. And it's been almost a week. Isn't that fast? You know what I'm saying? It's been almost a week and everything. I've been in people chats and stuff like that, but I hadn't dropped a video. I didn't want to overwhelm you guys, so I took some time off to enjoy some movies and things like that or whatever. But now I got to get back to work, okay? So I'm getting back into this. So, okay, so we're going to be talking about some things. But first, you know my verbal disclaimer. You have to be over the age of 18 when you listen to my videos and visit my channel, and do not allow anyone under the age of 18 to do the same. And make sure you read the disclaimer in the description below. Okay, so we're going to get into it. So we did 1, 2, and 3 of the breakdown, right? So this is the 4th one, okay? We're going to be talking about number 4. And damn it, this stuff is going to get good, okay? Not only is it going to get good, it's going to get juicy. It's going to be so much information in this shit that you're going to be like, oh my God. Yes, because a lot of times I have been telling you guys this, but I have been vague about it because I didn't want to overwhelm you guys, because some of these people in this R. Kelly saga on this side are not that, you know, they don't understand a lot of things, okay? And the ones over there on the other side, the total opposite, understands anything at all. So I want to actually give a shout out to some people, okay? So I visited 2 new channels, okay, while I was off, and it was, I think one of them, don't get me wrong, and I apologize if I say your name wrong, gentlemen. I apologize, but I think the first guy who channel I visit was named Senator Sane, and the other one was Black Media CEO. I apologize if I'm messing up your name, but regardless of what it is, I have to go through my subscription list, and I have to look at the name precisely. But shout out to you men, because you did your thing. And please, you guys, keep doing your thing and stay away from debates in the other side. Keep doing your thing on your channel. That's the encouragement that I give you. That's the advice that I can give you. Because I'm telling you, this commingling thing, when you're trying to get information out here that's accurate, it's not really good, because it gets tainted with lies when you cross over and go over there. It's ugly. And being in this game for 2.5, 3 years, believe me, you don't want to do that. So that's just only advice. You don't have to take it. It's just advice, because I liked it, your channel, whatever. But whatever suits you. You're grown men. You do what you want to do. But Spittin' Fire warned you. So let me get back into my commentary. So we're going to be talking about some things, right? We left off talking about George Soros and him endorsing Kim Fox and everything. And I broke down everything on how everybody was related, right? So once I broke down how everything is related, boy, we had a lot, okay? A lot of you really took to it. Well, let's get into this shit now, okay? Let's get into more so of Mute R. Kelly, okay? Let's get into that. So, sorry for that little overlap. So I told you guys in part 2 that Kamala Harris, okay, and Kim Fox knew each other. Okay, I broke down these connections, right? Right? I did it last year, and I did it vague last year, but I got in depth this year, 2021. Okay, and I think I did it in 2019 as well. But if I didn't, I did it in 2020 for sure, and I broke it down even more so in 2021. Okay, and so I just wanted you guys to understand how important it is. And so somebody, okay, somebody with a third eye, a good friend of mine, okay, pointed out the list, Emily's list, right behind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I forget that, right? So yeah, he pointed me in that direction, and I had to take it there, okay. And I'm gonna thank him when I do my commentary, but I got to thank him again. You probably see me thank him throughout this commentary because this was very crucial part of the connection, okay. And so I'm just, wow, they knew each other. So I told you that the setup with R. Kelly is real. Okay, this was a political setup. Everybody think it was Sony and everybody think it was this. But I am not a surface level thinker. I know that this here is the setup, okay? And it's for women in uplifting and empowering. This is why I came up the Me Too movement. This is why I'm the only blogger on these YouTube streets that actually targeted the Me Too, Time's Up, and R. Kelly. I was the first one to speak on the injustices, okay? The first and only one, and it wasn't until later that others started, and that's good because now people can spread the message. But I think people can't spread the message because they're not passionate about it or they don't understand it. You understand? Because I'm not a surface level thinker, so I understand it. So as you can see, Helen Jim, okay, on Emily's list. So we just showed you Emily's list behind Kamala and Kim's picture that they took together, right? It was a poster in the back, and I circled it. I just showed you. And it was Emily's list. Well, that's an organization, okay? Told you I'm not keen on these organizations. I don't like these organizations because they always have hidden agendas, okay? And what is this organization, okay? This organization, she is a Philadelphia City Council woman, all right? She's a Philadelphia City Council woman, and she has been in the political game for quite some time right now, a few years or whatever. If you really look at her up, you can find it out. It's simply all on Google, okay? You don't have to even go into an in-depth search of me, but you can do just a surface level search on Google on her and find out some information or whatever. You know what I mean? Don't get all off into the type of investigation and the type of in-depth research I do because it'll just give your ass a headache, okay? But this is how I broke all this shit down. You understand me? And once again, and you're going to hear me say it throughout the commentary thanks to the Blockbender TV because he said, oh, sis, you missed one. You missed one key element. And I was like, what? What? He said, but look. I was like, what? I mean, it was just so funny. I was like, oh my God, and that was in part 2, the breakdown part 2. But that's Emily's list. Yeah, she's a city councilwoman. We're going to talk about Helen Jim. You know what I mean? And who else knew Helen Jim? I told you none of this stuff is, okay, coincidence. This is all planned. I told you in 2019, they had secret meetings on this. Who is a part of the Ellen's list and who went to visit her to stop R. Kelly from performing? Yes, we talking about Kenyette Burns. You know, I told you guys that this is not a coincidence on this takedown. She went through the Emily's list to take them down. I told you the Me Too, Mute R. Kelly, all these people were setting up men, particularly heterosexual men. And I told you that it was bagged up by the LGBT. Now, people think that when I say that, that's anti-gay slurs. No, it is. It's bagged up by it. If you sit up there and do your research, and I'm talking about surface level researching, okay? If you do your research, you will realize that the LGBT bag all these movements because they have an agenda, okay? And I said it again. I said it once before. I don't care who gets mad. The agenda, okay, is to take down the heterosexual man, okay? I told you guys for 2.5, 3 years almost now that men are under attack. I have told you this. You have sons, you have husbands, you have brothers, you have nieces, nephews, nieces too now, I guess, huh? You have cousins, you have best friends who are men, heterosexual, strong dingo men. We need to save the dingo men, because dingo men are now being, what do they call it, demasculine. Okay, they're taking the masculinity out of it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Let's save tradition. You can be the way you want to be. You can live the way you want to live, love who you want to live, everything else. But leave tradition alone. And that's what they want to do. They want to break it down with the help of women. And particularly if they not only dissected the black family, they're going to do it even more. People, like I mentioned in this commentary, and I'm going to say it again, under 40, support all this what they call it, boo-fi? Yeah, well, I ain't gonna say all that. Bullshit. They accept this bullshit. Okay? And that's what it is. Okay? I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing over here. This is Spittin' Fire. What did you think you were gonna get? Yes, sir. Y'all see her right there. Kenyette. Y'all see Kenyette right there, y'all. Y'all see Kenyette right there sitting up there with Helen Jim when they was taking pictures together and everything else to sit up there and stop R. Kelly from performing in Pennsylvania. Okay? Stopping him from performing in Philadelphia. They don't want him there. And that is a violation of his constitutional right, because he has a right to life and liberty. He has a right to make money. He has a right to do that. And because of allegations and accusations that has not been proven, they stopped him prematurely. You know what I mean? If you want to sit up there and say you want to help young black girls and you don't want no predator performing in your day, okay, well, what about the predators that's already living there? What about that? If we're going to say that R. Kelly is a predator hypothetical, then what about the predators that's already living there? Are you kicking them out? Because I'm quite sure you got a sex registry list in Pennsylvania. So why he can't perform there? However, because it's this women's empowerment, the Democrats are doing it. The Democratic women, the liberal women, and I'm all for liberal. I mean, I really am. You know, I'm just not, down with taking down my men to sit up there uplift women, because I think we all can be uplifted. So I like to sit up there and talk about, I think I was listening to the young man, Senator Sane, okay? You know what I mean? He was speaking some real facts and stuff and some common sense. And, common sense ain't that common. But we're going to talk about more. We're going to get into, Emily's List, okay? We're going to talk a little bit more about Emily's List. And as I sit up there and talk more about Emily's List, you guys can sit up there and listen to what it is that I'm going to tell you. All right? So, here we go. Okay. So, this is Emily's List. Okay? And thanks to the Blockbender TV for his eagle eye. Thanks to the Blockbender TV for his eagle eye. Okay? Because if it wasn't for Brother Block, and he said, "You're missing something, sis. You're missing something." I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? And I'm telling you, when I say that this guy observes everything, y'all, Blockbender, he just sometimes get on my nerves with that. But you know what? It is needed, okay? And I would rather for him to get on my nerves than not have it at all. So actually, he pointed out something. He just had to tilt my head just a little bit, and I seen it. And I took it and I ran with it, and he knew exactly what direction I should go with it with. Okay, so we know Emily's List, right? So for those of you who think that I am anti-Democrat, well, I'm going to tell you something. I am a registered Democrat, okay? I have voted Democrat all my life, and I'm going to tell you some things, okay? This is where the Blockbender and I have some similarities and some differences, okay? And we have these conversations all the time. However, I have been a Democrat since I even started voting, okay? But me, being a realist that I am, I call out anyone, even if it's within my own party. I don't care. I don't do the cover up or because we on this. No, you're wrong, you're wrong. And this is what I was always talking about with R. Kelly and the Bill Cosby and everything else. Austin did everything about accountability, all this kind of stuff. You wrong, you wrong. And I'm all for uplifting women. I'm all for women empowerment. I really am, but not at the expense of men. I don't think your agenda should be taking down men to lift yourself up. If we can't lift up together, the agenda is wrong. And this is why I get upset with the organizations and these movements, not the people in itself. So when I talk about the LGBT, people think I'm anti-gay. I'm not anti-gay. I'm talking about the organization. I'm not talking about gay people. I'm not talking about a gay couple. I'm talking about the organization. When your agenda is to strip heterosexual or traditional men of whatever it is that their lifestyle is, and to make it to be where you want to uplift yours, or we're going to collab together and do it to uplift women and gays and everything else, I find it to be funny. So I'm going to talk about that a little later too. I was going to break this segment down into 2 parts. I'm not for sure if it's going to be 2 parts. I'm not for sure. But I will tell you by the time of the end of this video, I should know. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Emily's List, and let's talk about a little bit more about them. Okay, let's talk about their mission. Okay, now I'm not going to go through this whole website. Okay, you can go over there and you can look for yourself. But I'm going to talk about some things. Okay, and their missions and stuff like that, and what they do and everything else. Now, one of the things that I found that was very funny is that they have this slogan right here throughout the whole entire website as I was reading it. So before I even set up here and came on here and show you guys this website, I'm reading this, through the different links and everything, and I see pro-choice Democratic women elected to office. But the word pro-choice, so they don't just want Democrats, because you got old school Democrats like myself who just believe certain things. You know what I mean? There are people who are on the conservative side but are Democrats. You know what I mean? I'm not so too liberal to where I'm just not all that liberal. Okay, I am liberal on certain things, but then certain things I'm tradition. You know what I mean? I'm alternative to certain things, but then certain things I'm tradition. And I think that that's just the way it is, and I think it balances me out. Some people say you don't know what you want to be. No, I need a balance. You understand? I think change is good, but I also think things that's set in stone and work need to be left alone at the same time too. So we're going to be talking about the mission, okay? So let's get back into this and let's just talk about the mission. So as I click here and I'm bringing up the mission, I'm going to try to make this a little bigger, okay? I'm trying to make this a little bigger. Okay, I hope you guys can see it. So as I'm sitting up there talking about the mission and stuff like this, there were just certain parts of this mission that just brought, me to this part, okay? And there's a lot of parts to it, but I just want to actually speak to you about this second paragraph right here. And I'm going to read it to you, not as if you can't read for yourself. I know a lot of people read to people like they are in kindergarten, but I'm going to read this to you because I want certain things to stand out. Okay, it's been about a week since I did commentary. Okay, I did about 3 or 4. I addressed a person who thought that my video was anti-gay, and it wasn't. I'm not a hate person. But I do call people out on their shit. And if you're part of the LGBT, I'm not the person that's scared to call you out on their shit either, as far as the organization is concerned. Now, I called the Me Too movement, and I called the Time's Up movement, and I've called the NAACP recently. You know what I mean? I just don't like these organizations with these old private agendas and everything else. So, yeah. So I do. It's not that I hate gays, okay? The gays people are everywhere in the world or whatever. I just think it's a time and place for that, and I don't think personally our government should be trying to force other countries on their beliefs, okay? I think everybody should have their own beliefs in what they believe in, and we should leave it alone and focus on things that are important to protect the people in its entirety, okay? Because me personally, as a black person, you know what I mean? I just feel it offensive that our civil rights, we started the civil rights movement and everything else for people, okay? And then the people piggyback off of it, made it their own, and they got more rights than we got, and we begged the Democratic Party forever, and we ain't got anything. I have never seen so much fight for reparations for black people that has not been gotten yet, but yet gays and everybody else got them already. I'm offended, you know, and just call me, you know, culturally hating. You know what I mean? I am. I mean, because if there's ever a time for us to be jealous of something, that would be it. And I'm not a jealous person at all. But if I should be, my ancestors and all the people, forefathers, and everybody that came before me died for me to have a right to vote and things like that, and we can't even get reparations, but then another organization or culture come and they, because they have a different lifestyle, they get all these accolades real fast, and that, you know what I mean? I just have a problem with that, and because when you say things like that, people say it's a hate speech, and it's not. It's just that I want my people to have what we need to have, and we need to recognize it, and we've been here first, and this fight is first. Hate, and I don't care what no one say, race crime is still the #1 hate crime. Even trumps the LGBT hate. Yes, it does. Okay, so let's read this second paragraph. Okay, let's read the second paragraph, and then we're going to get back into some commentary. It says, Emily's List is proud to support nearly every Democratic congresswoman of color currently serving in federal office, as well as women up and down the ballot who identifies as lesbian, bisexual, and transgender. We are proud to have helped elect the first openly gay senator, the first Buddhist and Hindu in Congress, the first Latino to ever serve in the Senate, the first second African American woman senators, the first Asian American woman senator, and the first Indian woman to serve in the House, and the first Mexican American Puerto Rican woman to serve in Congress. And we recognize the principal role that Democratic women have and always played in bringing diversity to our caucus. Okay, so I just find it very funny that, you know, when we talk about race and things or whatever, we broke down everything. So we don't just say women, we just say women of color, and then we break down sexuality, okay? And then we put blacks in there and everything else in there as well, right? So we got that, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying the LGBT, they play a part in every other movement, in every movement, okay? Every movement, they play a part. They have their agenda and stake in it, and nothing is. I'm not saying anything wrong with it. I'm just saying keep in mind, because we as black people still have issues with police brutality, systemic racism. You know what I mean? We have men in prison because we want to believe them, and they turned our women against our own men. And we following this. This is what we're following. And the young people, because they're going around the colleges, so a lot of people that's under 40 believe everything people like this say, because they go around to these colleges, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And then we're going to get back into commentary about why in this should be kept in your mind, okay? And this is Emily's List right here, you know, Emily's List, okay? And this is their website, Emily's List, okay? Right there, you see that, right? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, and let's get back into the commentary. Okay, so I just was curious, and I said I want to research Kenya. It's been a while since R. Kelly stalker, okay, who's posing that she helping young black girls. She actually is stalker, and she got the FBI and the government fooled, and she still got me blocked, y'all. Kenya still got me blocked. Kenya had me blocked for about 3.5 years before we even went to social media on this stuff. Kenya, why am I blocked still? It's been a long time. You still ain't over me exposing you and Veronica and all y'all lying ass heifers. Y'all still mad because y'all stalked R. Kelly because he ain't want none of y'all and everything else. That don't make no sense. Just don't make no sense to be holding grudges like that. Get off the grudge train, okay? Get off of it, all right? Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for listening to Spittinfire. This number 4 has just been comical. It wasn't really a lot of even commentary to even do. It was one of those things that I just showed you the connection 1, 2, and 3, and I just think I threw a bonus in, okay? And I was gonna sit up there and do part 2 to this or break it down in depth. I think it don't need no more in depth than that. I don't think it need no more in depth than that. I think that it is in depth enough. But if there's something else that I investigate and come up with, I definitely will bring it to your attention because I think it's very needed, okay? But I do want to talk about something else. Y'all thought this was over? Nah, I'm going to talk about something else. I want want to talk about people out here on these YouTube streets. I am sick and tired of people thinking that we over here on this side riding the train and coattail of Tasha Key. And this is the reason why I'm going to speak on this. I just spoke on it about a couple of weeks ago because I think it was important, but I'm going to reiterate what I said. You don't get to fall out with somebody that you brought into this. You don't get to fall out with somebody that you were cool with. And then once they no longer see the things that you told them or agree with the things that you have told them or the narrative that you spent to them, you act as if the R. Kelly supporters were always down with them. That shit has to stop. That shit has to stop. At this point, I realize that you're not even helping the people who you're claiming you're helping. At this point, it's just strictly on YouTube and it's commentary about your channel. It's not your lying. And I noticed that even though we, as R. Kelly supporters, Team Kells, I noticed that a lot of people say it as if we are a team. We are for R. Kelly. Some of us are fans of R. Kelly. Some of us are supporters in his innocence. Some of us think that he's been done unjust, like me. And so we all kind of collide together because it's important. And then people think that race don't play a part of anything, and it does. And when you sit up here and you can't, because anytime something is not panning out, and you still sit up there and try to sit up there and paint this narrative because you can't or don't want to because it's making you money. You know what I mean? Like certain bloggers could not say or ever say, well, this person may be not telling the truth. They could not say that because they build their channel on either his innocence or guilt. So if you are a blogger and you believe that R. Kelly is guilty, a lot of times people cannot change that narrative to the truth because of what that truth, or when that truth manifests, because of the simple fact is they scared that they're going to lose support and subscribers and things like that and views, and they may be. And so when people say, we over here happy Tasha K, no. Spittinfire, first of all, Tasha K does not like R. Kelly. She said she wanted to blow his head off or something like that, paraphrasing, okay? And, you know, she said that. And she made it clear, especially when she was down with them, that she did not like him, especially what happened to her. So she believed he did these things based on what had happened to her. Okay, she did that, right? So me personally, okay, her doing that and everything, and me personally, I just think that for her to come out on her platform with almost 1 million subscribers and put that information out there that she could have been wrong was big. That's more guts than people have with only a few thousand subscribers. That we're not even a fraction of what she has. And a lot of you all see the truth and can't even come out to do it, to say it. So it's not about her liking R. Kelly. She don't never have to like R. Kelly. Nobody has to like him. No one has to, and that's all of what I often said on Spittinfire. If you heard Spittinfire say, you may not like R. Kelly. You may even think he's guilty, but you want to have due process. You don't want to help bring down a man. And if somebody is lying, you need to be pissed about it. If you are supporting some people and they are caught lying or doing some underhanded things that they shouldn't be doing, you ought to be pissed. Because you lend your emotion to them, your support to them, and everything else. You ought to be pissed. And if you're not pissed, something's wrong with you. Because you don't just go and support people just to support people and you lose your way. You're supposed to support the cause, and when you deviate from that, or the cause is not saying what they told you it was, or is the truth is showing something else, how many of you are real enough to even come out and forward to say, damn, this shit ain't looking good? How many of you? You know what I mean? Like, how many? How many? I've often said you want the man to have due process. You know what I mean? You want the man to be able to, do that, because as a people, a particular people, you want us, and we as a people of color, Black, African American, whatever you want to label us as, you want us to have it because of all the injustices as we as a people endure every day. So when you sit up here and say things like, white people do this too, and white people do, we know what white people do. We hadn't gotten as far as we got if it wasn't for white help. I did a video in 2019 in Black History Month praising the whites that actually lost their lives helping Blacks. So we don't need that reminder. You know what I mean? When you have a movement, there's always some type of casualties of war. There's always people that stand behind you and they just believe what they believe. You understand what I'm saying? There's always. But we have been coming and fighting this fight for a long time. We have a whole nother alternative life that is brought upon us. It's not new, but it's new as far as the law. And they have more rights, more things have been coming together for them a lot faster than Black. Black's still struggling with the same things that we've been struggling with. And that's getting some respect. They get more respect than we get. And yet, we got a whole president, Biden, that's trying to sanction Africa because of their LGBT beliefs and all that. That's not what I want, or I don't think that a president should do. My opinion, I think the president should be worried about the nation of the US of A. Not what someone else's beliefs are. People can believe what they want to believe. You understand what I'm saying? And let the people over there who dealing with their alternative situations deal with it. And there's nothing wrong with supporting, but to sanction someone because of their beliefs, just strip people of things. But who's going to suffer the most? Because I don't think it's going to be them like it is going to be us. I don't think that no one has sanctioned anything when it came to police brutality, or Black men getting killed by the police, or going to jail at a rapid rate. A lot of them are in jail that's innocent, that didn't do it. Look how many DNAs results that had to free people because they didn't do something, and they lost their freedom and their life and livelihood. Look how we are divided as one culture. Our Black women have now turned against their own men. Any Black woman that says they were raped, Black women go believe them. Because they told you so messed up and everything, and you should believe them. They went around to these colleges, and you guys do it. Especially if you over 40. You guys believe that crap. And ain't none of them in this neighborhood. Kenyetta ain't in here, nothing. And on their website, they got merch for sale. No other organization, no other organization has merch on a particular man that they're trying to take down. It's like Me Too. Even they have like Me Too. That's what it's supposed to be. You got a man, R. Kelly. You got his name on the shirt. But what if he walks? He's going to own all that shit. He's going to own all that shit. And quiet is kept. If Sony wanted to, they can own that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we think we're so smart at some things, but we're so stupid in so many other things. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to shout out some new people that I've seen on these YouTube streets, some men. I hope they don't lose their way and get to beefing and barking and fighting like everybody else is doing. I hope they stay away from all of that debate shit and all that. Don't do that shit. Don't panel and all that old bullshit, with them people. Don't stay, please, just the advice. Just one last advice. Stay on your channel. Men, stay on your channel and know what you know. Because when you talk to certain people and do certain things, shit get all tainted. And that's just my advice, and I don't give a damn what nobody say about it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So, Senator Sane, you know what I mean? I liked your commentary. Black Media CEO, I liked your commentary. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize again. But it's just good to see people having come aboard and see what we've seen, because it lets it be known that people are starting to listen. There was someone that was on another media site. They were talking about R. Kelly. And actually, they're starting to say free R. Kelly. And I'm seeing it outside of the saga. And I'm liking it. So, for all of us who have been in this fight, who have been name called, like me, one of the first ones on the scene, attacked on Twitter, name called, I've been called all kind of fat this, fat that, all this and that, all because I had a difference of opinion when it came to R. Kelly. And I never came on these YouTube streets calling people names. I was so far against it. I really was. You know what I mean? Because the simple fact is, I just felt like that was not necessary, because I believe the man innocent until proven guilty, or I believe that he's innocent because these people are not credible. And I was attacked. We're really attacked on Twitter, you know what I mean? On YouTube, all in my chat and everything else, or whatever. Then when they realize that I live up to my name, Spittinfire, then they look at me like, you know what I mean? Like I am a victim shamer, I'm a bully, I'm a this, I'm a that, all this type of stuff. So when I turn up, I get aggressive, then I'm the bully. But so I just let people say what they say. You know what I mean? I don't fight everybody that come at me, because the simple fact is, I don't want to be labeled a bully. I'm not going to do that one, okay? And I don't want you guys to be doing that either. But I just advise you just do your thing, and they're gonna fight you. You know what I mean? That's what they do. That's all they know how to do. You got some fake supporters out here. My advice: keep doing your thing. Don't let too many people have too much connection with you. Put your stuff out there and go on with your life, because when you have people calling and all have that much access to you, setups are real out here. You know what I mean? It's real out here. I don't want none of you men to get involved in any of it. So that's the advice that I give. Not that you asked for. You didn't. No, you did not. You know what I mean? No, you did not. So I'm just freely giving it because I liked your channels. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for listening to the commentary for the breakdown part 4. And the men, I just now heard of them. Welcome aboard. Team Kels. Fire out.